Welcome to the Redhead Reveal podcast, where we reveal what it means to truly connect. I'm Jenn Pinkerton, your Redhead host. I'm a psychotherapist, high-performance coach, sexologist, writer, and speaker. As a connection expert, I help people transform by exploring the root causes and beliefs and behaviors that hold them back. Let's talk about living a life where you thrive. All right, welcome today. I have with me somebody pretty special, Mary Kathryn LeMaster. And you are a writer and a speaker and a legally blind visionary, which I have never actually heard that exact phrase term, and I love it. I like how powerful it feels.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here. And that term means so much to me, and it encompasses so many elements of where I am in my life. As a legally blind person, you leave with a diagnosis at the doctor's office, and then I sit in the cab thinking, I want my own. I don't want that title because it felt so restrictive. And I spent many moments in meditation just asking myself, what is it that I really want for myself if I'm going to give my own self my title? And it was legally blind visionary because it encompasses both things. I still have so much sight that I don't feel blind until I walk outside of my house and the world is very inaccessible.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But I see way beyond physical vision. And that's where the visionary becomes much stronger.
And it just, when I was reading about you and reading some articles where you've been cited in and just all these different things I found on you, I with each thing I read, I was so more excited each time to meet you because I feel like you're such a voice in empowerment and to look at things with such this beautiful perspective and scope, because we all have different challenges in life of different varying degrees. And to see someone to take a challenge such as this and to use it in the way you have at the platform you have, I think is really amazing.
Thank you. Everything that I do, all I think about is the person who's leaving the doctor's office right now. And I use my platform, my social media platform, to post about someone who's blind living in the world, just our gorgeous lives. If someone's leaving the office today, tomorrow, feeling hopeless and thinking that this is it, this is the end of everything, and not knowing someone on the other side of it. Because that was the first question I had from my doctor was, number one, I need a support group. I need to know the people that are on the other side who have done this, who are doing this.
That you're not alone.
I'm not alone. And that's a big part of it. It's the biggest piece of it, is that we're not. And any life transformation that happens, if we can find one other person that says, I got it, I got you, and I understand completely.
And was there a support group for you to immediately go in? Okay, that was the next question I had. All right, so.
No, and I told my doctor, I said, that's fine. I will start my own. And I did. I've started a number of them. One that I run right now is every month. It's called Name Your Cane Happy Hour.
Name Your Cane Happy Hour. That in itself, I love it.
Well, 5 years ago when I was diagnosed and I had to hang up my keys, and this has been the hardest part, not driving and living in Houston. And it's not the most accessible city.
Well, it's a loss of freedom to feel like you can't drive after driving for many years.
So much of my independence fell out the window. And when I started using my cane, which I said I would never in a million years. I was actually diagnosed when I was 13 with a rare degenerative eye condition named retinitis pigmentosa.
Retinitis pigmentosa.
It's a long one. RP for short.
Okay.
And told I would be blind by my 30s. It runs in my family. And it was very confusing because I had so much sight at that moment in time.
Were there other people already losing sight in your family?
My great aunt had it.
Okay.
And she was blind when she was in her 30s. And that's what the physicians were going off of.
Okay.
However, what they never told me was that blindness is a spectrum. Mm-hmm. Life is a spectrum, right?
Yes, it is.
But if growing up, I always thought someone who was blind, they saw nothing. It's only 11% of the blind population that truly sees nothing.
I read that when I was researching for this, and that surprised me.
I
I'm
know.
already learning things I had no idea about.
Me too. So there's 89% of us that still sees something, whether it's shadows or shapes or color. I have something that's called tunnel vision. And so when I'm looking at you right now, I see your beautiful face, but I don't see anything around you.
Okay, so it's like a hyper focus, I guess, as it sounds, like looking through a tunnel. Okay, that makes sense to me. Okay.
So when I started using the cane, her name is Sugar.
Sugar.
Yes.
I love her name.
Yes. So she sweeps the floor while I look straight ahead.
Okay.
So she's my eyes on the ground.
So she watches out for you.
She watches out for me for children, curbs, displays, you name it. But that was the original reason of having Name Your Cane, because I started using it truly after years of saying I would never in my life be seen with a mobility aid. There's so much stigma. There's so much
it's
stigma.
got a negative connotation. It's like you have to have it versus the way you're presenting it, and that it's sugar and you have a happy hour with sugar.
Yes.
And it's this kind of more I don't know, cheeky way to look at it.
Yes. And I have people from all over the world that we get together and we name our canes. I have one woman that has named her cane Ted, who helped her during her TED Talk.
It's amazing.
A number of them are named Freedom, but I named my cars.
You did. I've never named a car.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I'm telling you right now, if I ever needed a cane, I would name my cane after hearing this, because this is pretty amazing.
It is. This is a very personal part of my life. This is a new relationship I'm having.
Right.
And I didn't want to say to my husband or my son, hey, go grab my stick. That doesn't feel right to me.
Versus where's Sugar?
Go get Sugar.
Yeah.
We are now a team. And I needed to have that, the cheekiness, as you said.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I love it. I love it. So this journey that you've been on, as it sounds, was such. It seems, though, from what I had read, later in life, though, is when it had really gotten to a point where you needed to have more aid of that, correct? Tell me that path.
Yes, because, 13, I had good vision. And what happened was it started out as night blindness, severe night blindness in high school. I've never driven at night. And then it kind of started to move up during the day. But it wasn't until 5 years ago, truly, when everything kind of came to a head, which is rare for RP. If I'm honest, I think I was losing quite a bit more sight than I was paying attention to.
Or maybe willing to admit.
Sure. But 5 years ago is when everything it kind of crashed. And I went to the doctor because I knew I could no longer be behind a wheel. But I thought, oh, well, I have cataracts and I have glaucoma and I have astigmatism. Maybe it's just something, it's something simple.
Right.
And I did have bilateral cataract surgery, which definitely helped the blurred vision a little bit.
Okay.
But nothing with RP. But I knew that it was no longer safe for me to drive.
And does it still deteriorate more now?
I'm very careful for the language I use. That is what the physicians will say.
Okay.
It could happen, is what I say.
Got it. It could.
It could, and maybe not. I don't actually know.
Absolutely, maybe not. No one knows.
No one knows. That's
case by case, individual people.
You got it.
And I'm a firm believer of energy, how much we do emotional work on ourselves, how healed we are, as to how deeply they impact us and affect us, has a lot to do with our outlook and the way we live our life.
Yes, 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 yes. So when I go to the doctor's office once a year, they love me.
I bet they do.
Like,
they see you and Sugar coming.
I'm ready to tell them what is going on with me instead of them telling me what's going on with me.
What's going on with you? Because they're telling you what's going on with the disease.
Correct.
And you're personalizing it, saying, wait a minute, no, this is about me and what I'm experiencing.
Yes.
And you're advocating for yourself, probably in a way that a lot of people don't do.
And I didn't even know that I needed to do that for myself until this came about. You know, we talk about life experiences that truly, truly shape you and change you. And the diagnosis for me has been a doorway. And I write about this in the book, as talking about I didn't know how much I was really holding on to this fear of going blind all these years.
Fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
Fear of what will it feel like? What will it be like? How will it impact my life in a negative way?
Right. Right. But then when it finally happened, I could exhale.
Well, the fear and the anticipation was bigger than the actual impact.
Right. Right. And then also realizing, but I still see so much. I currently have 13% of my central vision.
Okay.
Which is not a lot, but for me, it's vast.
To be honest, in my uneducated viewpoint, before meeting someone and having a conversation with someone like you right now, I didn't realize that percentage. I didn't even understand, had not thought through that to really get an idea of what someone that is blind sees and the different, variances of that.
I had no idea. That was part of my fear all these years. And I have a number of friends in the deaf blind community, and it's the same thing. It's all a spectrum. But one of the beautiful things I'm learning throughout this and being with people in the disability community, everyone slows down. Everyone talks to you face to face. It's heart to heart, face to face.
Well, there's more presence and there's more intentionality. I agree with that.
And I've been a meditation teacher for decades, and I've sat with many people teaching them how to breathe in the dark, in their dark spaces of their lives. And it's not until something rather large comes across our table that we say, oh, this is what slowing down means.
And the symbolism here of you were working with people to breathe in the dark.
I know.
And then here you are now. It's the full circle of life. It's when sometimes, to me, I get emotional in awe of the world we live in that way.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. It's so profound. Well, you wrote this book, My Dark Garden, collection of raw poetry, sound-based practices, and guided reflection. Creates this brave space for people navigating life. Tell me about it. Tell me about what this means to you and what this experience was like writing this book.
Very tender, very raw, and so much fire. The version you're holding in your hand is actually not the original version that I wrote. And I had a good friend of mine read the first version. And I said, well, what do you think? And she said, it's good. I was like, oh no.
Oh, no. It's good. Okay.
We need to whiteboard it. Let's talk about it. And she said, it's not all of you.
Do you think you weren't being vulnerable enough?
No way.
Oh, okay.
No way.
Okay.
I sat with that, and I took the book. We were at my family's ranch, and I went to my favorite tree and took the book. And I read it. And I said, oh, shit. Okay. All right. And then I rewrote it. I rewrote the whole thing. And I really dove all the way in. And
to allow people to really see you.
For me to see
the irony
me,
of people
right?
to see you and you to see yourself in a book about your journey.
Yes.
And losing your sight.
Yes. So the first portion is a little bit of my story, my diagnosed story.
Yes.
And then I have poems that I wrote. Every poem is a different experience that I've had during this time. And
at different stages and times during.
Different experiences at doctors' offices. So every poem is me going back to get every one of those pieces of me and bringing her forward, bringing her present, bringing her into the power that is here now. And the meditations I wrote in there are also ones that I would sit in the chairs and talk myself through.
Do you feel like you left pieces of you behind in these doctor visits?
Oh yeah, of course.
That it was just like a fragmented, fractured part of you?
Sure. Oh yes. You really, when I was 13, it was at a teaching hospital. And so I was a lovely case that they wanted to physically
The
see.
case study.
Right. And so I had students just lined up coming in to see me in the most vulnerable way.
And you just feel like nothing more than an object.
Correct. Yeah.
So gone is connection, gone is vulnerability, gone is anyone even probably curious to know how you were feeling.
Right.
It was all about what you were presenting.
And even I did have a few physicians that were really lovely and cared for me. And at the same time, even though you're asked, how are you? Well, I'm really awful. That wasn't really on the table at that moment in time. You know?
So it's symptomology and pathology.
Right.
Instead of how are you navigating this? How do you feel inside? How has this affected your identity?
Yes. Every single piece of it. And so later at 47, when I was, this recent diagnosis, I had a much stronger voice and I could advocate for myself. But even that, I still left feeling confused because I still had so much vision, right? This conversation around the spectrum again. And the autonomy that now I no longer am driving, now I'm no longer, all these layers of things that I can no longer do. Have to learn how to relearn how to do things. Not relearn, learn how to do them this new way.
In a different way.
Completely different way. I definitely dropped parts of me along the way. Sure. It's, I was talking to a client recently and she was at a doctor's appointment and the doctor said, well, are you stressed?
What a question.
I mean, are you?
Wow.
Are you living in this world at this time? Yes, this is very stressful. Not to mention it just took 45 minutes to park, to find a parking spot.
And we live in Houston.
Yeah. That is one thing I will say. I'm very happy about taking a car when I have to go down to the med center. No longer finding a parking spot.
For sure. You get to just be the princess being
Yes.
driven. That's the wonderful part of that.
I love my Uber drives. I love them. It's been great. It's been so great.
And I hear you with even your cadence of speech. You're slow and you're deliberate. I wonder how much of that is this, or was that really part of who you were before? I mean, how much do you feel like you have really pivoted or transformed into a different person inside, not just what's going on, with your side? How explain that to me. I'd love to kind of get a different idea of that transformation for you.
I've always been present. I've always spoken slower. I was always the one at Christmas who would slowly unwrap their gifts, and I would take the ribbons apart and fold them. I loved them, and my family made fun of me for many, many years. But if we don't savor this moment, it's gone.
I love that.
That's it.
And Mary Kathryn, I have ADHD and I go at a speed that it troubles me because that's just how my brain works. And I will have to work so hard to slow down. When I meet someone that can be what I would love to be in that pace, it almost makes me take like it feels so warm and comforting to me. And I love that.
Thank you. My students have said over the years, your voice is so soothing. It's so relaxing. And I always say, make sure you tell my husband and son that when I'm yelling at the top of my lungs. I mean, coming back to that moment that we have right now. I also try my hardest when I'm really angry, really, really angry, to find out, number one, what it is, and number two, what I can do with it. Because this has not been an easy road.
Absolutely not.
No, this is not. That's part of the poetry being as raw as it is, and if we don't have a space to be as feral as we need to be, then number one, we're missing an opportunity, but number two, we're just shoving ourselves in the corner.
Well, you've invited people and given people permission to be raw.
Yeah.
You've given people a space to say it is okay to feel all these feelings, to feel angry, to be feral, to expose all this rawness, this pain, this adjustment, the acclamations, everything that has to change. It's the change that's so big. And you've given such an outlet and permission for people to do that.
I
that's
needed
really
it.
A gift, though.
I mean, the moment the physician said she didn't have a support group, I was like, well, where do we go? Who's talking to who? We're just sitting.
You're just expected to manage on your own.
And we're sitting in the waiting room, and everyone's palms are sweating. No one's talking to each other. Everyone's waiting for their test results. It's awful. It's awful. And there's just so many layers that could be soothing and transparent, and yeah. I want it better.
Support groups can feel like the hug that we all need. And I think people oftentimes are afraid to go to them. In therapy, we offer so many different ones. And sometimes it's hard to get people to even want to do it.
I know.
And once they do, then it's just like you're talking about. It's a sense of community and connection that makes you feel like you're not alone.
Yes. I mean, that's the way forward. Self-care is community care. Once you're in the community, then the embers can really be stoked.
Well, connection's medicine. We do heal from connecting with other people. We're not made to be isolated humans. That's just not how our neurobiology works.
No.
But yet we live in a society where we're all supposed to be. So, you can figure it out. You can do it.
Pull up your bootstraps. Right. What if I can't find them?
Right. Valid point. And beautiful image too. Also, you are the creator of Paper Seeds, a guided letter writing series. So tell me about that, because you invite people to share, right?
Yes. So it's 3 different letters that we get to sit, and it's a virtual experience.
Okay.
And you get to write letters to yourselves, but everyone is different. The first one is a hello to the elephant in the room, if you will, to the diagnosis. But you get to write to any part of it that you want to, whether it's your body, whether it is a physician, whether it is the diagnosis itself. And I keep looking at, I love to change language, and the word diagnosis is really, I keep rubbing up against something with that, and I'm ready for the next piece of it.
Is it a pathology into it? It's like a deficit. It's clinical in itself. Yeah. And so it's something's wrong, something's broken, something's bad.
And do you know, when I looked it up, the definition of diagnosis, it has the word nature in it.
I did not know that.
And I thought that was so interesting. That's where everything makes sense for me, is when I'm in nature. And that
grounds you.
Yes. That's partially why the garden for my book. But it is through this diagnosis, I have found my true nature, my true self. And coming back to that, that's where we're all looking to go. It just is tricky when you go through the medical system to get there.
Right. Well, the medical system is not designed to be nurturing.
Correct.
It's not. It's I could go on and on about this topic, and I won't. But that's not what it's about.
Yeah.
That's not what it's about. As we're sitting here talking about that, I want to touch on the labels, and the labels that that are given. And as a psychotherapist, I see that in my line of work, and how, labels don't help any. They just don't. Well, how do you think that affects you and people that you have provided so much support to?
Oh, the labels. I always had this image of me walking outside of the doctor's office with this label, that like a sticky note on my back, right? That someone else put there.
Without your permission, maybe.
Without my permission.
Yeah.
No one even asked me. And I hate it. I absolutely hate it. And I also understand it. I understand every single piece of this. That's partly why I can move and maneuver it so well, is I understand it. But what does a label actually mean to you? And that's what Paper Seeds is about, is writing your own label, your own discovery
You get
call.
to decide how you want to present yourself to the world.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I do think that nobody can define you but you. And you've got to decide, how do you want to be defined?
Yeah.
And you've decided on a very different definition than what would have been given to you.
Yes. Yes. In the Paper Seeds, every one of them, we do different rituals that we add into the writing process of itself. And there is a fire letter, which is my absolute favorite.
It sounds like it would be my favorite too already.
I did it with a client yesterday.
Just blow it up and burn it up.
This is so good.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. And then there's one that you get to write to your future self. What do you want her to plant? Because we're always planting something. We're always putting seeds somewhere, but we have to till the soil before.
But you're nurturing this sense of introspection and nurturing this idea of really being present with it and thinking about feelings versus shoving them down, which so many people do. And you have to feel all these different things, regardless of whatever challenge you're going through in life. And I love that you created this way, this forum, and this direction for people to be able to do that.
Me too. It's been good for me. It's what I've done for me. That is why I'm so passionate about offering it, because it's what's helped me the most.
Well, and helping other people heal in this way that it shaped them, it heals you.
Yes. Yes.
You also do the Dark Garden Immersive experiences. I want to know about that too, because I know it's got sound baths, which I am such a lover of. Tell me about what happens in these immersive experiences.
Yes. So it is a reading, as a poetry reading, and a sound bath as well, and a community conversation mainly around diagnosis and all the different layers that we're all living with and kind of navigating.
And is it for people who are all struggling with different variations of sight? Or tell me what?
Any diagnosis whatsoever.
Anything. Okay.
Because the diagnosis might look different for you or I, but the emotional component is really similar.
There's a parallel there for sure with everyone.
Yeah.
It's the idea that like being different isn't dangerous. Being different is actually can be something that we can lean into.
Yes.
And find joy in very different ways.
It's rewriting the diagnosed life, I guess, if you will. Again, I don't like, I'm working on it. I'll let you know when I come back.
Come back to me when you figure out a better word, because I'm stuck with that word in my job every day. So I like that. I like the way you view that. There's also the cohort coming up.
Yes.
So tell us about that too.
So that's in the springtime, and that's going to be a 3-month cohort. Again, it's going to be ritual based. We'll write letters. We're going to also have a group virtual call where we are going to, if you want, you can get dressed up to the nines, or you can be in your most comfortable pajamas, whatever you want to wear. But we're going to be silent. We're going to mute ourselves, and we're going to make the phone calls we need to make. We're going to make all the appointments that we need to make together. All these things that we sit around with our palms sweating. I've got to call my doctor. It's my time for my yearly appointment. And everyone's isolating, and I want to do it together.
So you're empowering everybody to do hard things.
Yes.
To face maybe what's challenging.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I love that so much.
Yeah.
I want to talk about too, you mentioned earlier about that doorway rather than a dead end. And so when people are making that shift and they really have a choice of how they're going to view this.
Yeah.
What was the best thing that you could share that would help people make that kind of choice of it being a doorway?
Honestly, feel all the anger that that possibly comes up right now.
Mm-hmm.
Feel every single thing that's coming up, because it's just sitting there on the surface of your skin anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Feel it. Yell, scream in a safe environment,
Mm-hmm.
obviously. And then ask your body, like, what do I really, really need right now? What do I need? Do I need to go slow? Do I need to go for a run?
Mm-hmm.
This is our moment, our invitation to find out how this body works,
Mm-hmm.
how I want to move throughout my life. That's my biggest one, is just find out what you're, I mean, if you don't have a therapist, I might know one. But this invitation is it feels big, but let it also feel gentle in some way.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a call into our bodies. That's all that it is.
And I like that gentleness aspect of it.
Yeah.
Because we are not gentle enough with ourselves, regardless of what we're experiencing in life, much less when we actually are experiencing things that challenge us.
Yeah.
I also want to think about when you talked about, it was something you wrote where you were talking about sitting in the darkness and witnessing, and how it's not just being in the dark, how you get to feel and see and hear and experience in different ways. And it almost sounds kind of magical in the way in which you describe it. I want to touch on that more, of kind of like that viewpoint that you have.
That's honestly from my meditation practice from all these years. And my breath work experiences for 17 years, and then doing the sound therapy. Again, when I close my eyes, I see everything. I'm able to feel and see and sense everything that's going on in the room and beyond. And that's my way of being able to see, through meditation and channeling, really being able to be with my own spirit at any time. So in the doctor's office or wherever I may be, closing my eyes is always my favorite and my easiest way in.
Do you lead meditations often still?
I do.
Would you come lead us in a meditation
Yes,
sometime here?
absolutely.
I think that would be just such a privilege to get to do that with you.
Yes.
As you're talking about it, I'm like chomping at the bit, thinking I want to experience that with you. What do you think is still the biggest misconception people have?
I love this question. For me individually, is number one, I can look at you in the eye, which is very, very confusing for a lot of sighted people.
Because it is eye contact. I'm right here looking at you, for sure.
Yes. And just if they can remember that it's a spectrum. So if they see someone with a white cane and they're on their phone, they're not faking it, because they can still look on the phone. Also, there's so many different apps and programs to be used on the phone
that are designed
for the blind.
Yes.
Right. Yes. And so just the assumption of, number one, that it's not all black, we see nothing. And that, number two, if you see someone with a cane and you would like to help them, which, lovely, that's wonderful, do not put your hands on us. You can come up next to us and say your name and say, would you like help?
Absolutely.
But that's not always the case.
So do people really do that without consent?
They do.
Just touch you? And
yes, they do.
Yeah, you have every right to say that is not helpful.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, don't worry.
So they mean well. But
of course.
Yes, there has to be an idea of, do you consent to me helping you? And do you need that? Because we don't know what somebody's journey is. They may have felt, you know what, today I'm really good and I don't want that, versus I would love that.
Yeah, I was recently at a blind travel summit last week, and there were a number of people there completely blind.
Okay.
And one of the guys was asking for some water, and I said, "Oh, I can get you some." And he said, "No, I'd like to get it." And I thought, oh, that was me trying to take his agency.
Yes.
Because I wanted to make it easier.
Right. But he wants his own autonomy.
Correct.
To maybe be guided in some way, but to
Yep.
get his own water.
Yes. Yes.
So even you
Yeah.
can have a
yeah.
moment where you checked yourself. That makes me feel good because I will be vulnerable here to share with you. When I knew we were going to talk, I thought, okay, I have to, as I would with anyone with any challenge, I want to know what words how to phrase this in the right way versus the wrong way, because I care about that deeply. And that's my next question for you is what is the right way versus the wrong way to address that? Because it matters. It matters to me. So I know it matters to my listeners.
It really matters. And I taught for years. I still have a number of clients I help make their spaces more accessible for the visually impaired. And we were just having this conversation over the weekend at the conference, and every one of us is different. And that's challenging for the rest of us because we want to make sure that we're using the right language.
Sure.
And this is what I say, ask the person. For me, low vision, partially sighted,
Okay.
fabulous.
Okay.
And these are words I would have never used. I also don't like low vision sometimes.
But I wouldn't have known to use that. That's the
Right.
thing. I mean, I want to learn the right way to say that.
Right. I just ask.
Okay.
And then it starts a whole other personal conversation.
Well, we're back to connection again.
There you go.
Which is what I love. That's
Yeah.
my jam. How can friends and caregivers and other people be supportive when someone's going through this type of situation as far as the learning? I'm not necessarily now where you are, but in the impact of my life is going to change.
Yeah. I will give you another statistic that will blow your mind.
I would love to hear it.
The disability community is the largest minority community that every single one of us will be a part of.
Wow. Wow. Say that one more time.
The disability community is the largest minority community every single one of us will be a part of in our lifetime, if we're lucky.
It's really profound.
And another reason why we have to do what we do. There's so many people lining up behind us. We have to keep opening the door and being there and making spaces more accessible. And for any friend or family member that has someone going through something, number one, ask your own self, what would you like? Are you taking care of yourself, right? And number two, ask the person what would be helpful. They may not know. I'm a Taurus, so I would, of course, go to make them soup, make them a cup of tea or coffee, nourish their body,
Right.
and have just a real heart to heart. Like, this sucks. This is awful.
Just the conversation and back to
Yeah.
that connection again.
Yeah. How are you? How
And
are
compassion.
you really doing? Like, let's go laugh.
Did you feel like you had that kind of support system that you needed when you were really facing that almost that change in your path in life about 5 years ago? Did you feel like you had that?
I absolutely had it with my friends and family who've been with me this entire time since I was 13 and beyond. So yes, I definitely had that, but I didn't have it in the way that I needed it with someone who's been through it. Right. And that
Finding
was my
someone
hunger.
who had their best practices and their benchmarks almost to say, hey, you know what? This is helpful. This isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I mean, yeah, you had to find your own support, build your own basic support system, support group.
I did. I that was where my hunger really came from. And I started a nonprofit, and then I started Name Your Cane. I've started other communities because there's so much wisdom. When you think about our ancestors, you think about the ones who came before. That's who you ask. You've done it. You're doing it. And hopefully they're really honest with their experience.
Right.
It's just bringing us together. None of this is separate. No matter how you feel, walking out of that room, thousands of people were there before you, and thousands of people were going to go there after you.
And nobody's alone.
Nobody's alone.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's been so amazing to learn all these things and have this kind of conversation. I want to ask you the guest question that a prior guest has left for you. We do this every time whenever we have guests on the podcast. It's one of my favorite parts. And the irony of this question that was left for you, not knowing it would be you. The question was, what is the biggest hardship that you've experienced that has led to the biggest lesson?
And there's no irony here, right?
It's the way the world works. It's the energy of our world.
Yes. And I'm actually going to go off of, obviously it's my eyes, but I'm going to go deeper into that.
Good.
It's the not driving, because I'm really, really in it. I am really in it. And it's been 5 years and I'm still in it. And I'm next week, I actually am going to start taking the bus. And if anyone lives here in Houston, you know how amazing our bus system is here.
I actually have not been on a bus here in Houston.
I know. No, neither have I.
I have not.
And so there is another invitation for me. It's been sitting on the table for 5 years, and I just don't want to do it. And I'm going to do it because there's something else on the other side. So whoever's listening to me, you don't want to do something, we're going to do it together. So I'm going to make this happen. And that's the next layer for me. I want my independence back in the way that, I didn't want to take Ubers. I didn't want to take cars. And I don't want to ask friends for rides. But don't forget, that's part of blocking the blessing, right? They need to give me a ride. It means so much to them to be able to help me.
To be able to serve you in some way.
Yeah. I love helping people. We all hopefully love helping each other. And that's that web that we are all a part of.
Right.
So I'll text you and let you know how it goes. After
I'll come ride the bus with you.
Listen, please, girl, let's go.
I'll do it.
We can get.
Give me a guest question for somebody else. What's a question you could leave for a future guest?
I want them to ask themselves, what are they really genuinely proud of? That something of them that they've done for themselves.
I like that.
Yeah.
Well, stay tuned for the answer to that question. It's been so amazing having you here. Thank you so much for your time and this gift of this experience to share with us today.
I've had so much fun. Thank you.